Yeah. So Will is planning to get back in shape by joining a new fitness program. Will said that those midnight muffins will be a thing of the past. So Will is now 52, and he's vowed on his Instagram post that he said I'm getting in shape, the best shape of my life. So Will Smith is teaming up with the YouTube channel or some YouTube team, and plans to do a documentary on how he's going to get fit, or his process of getting fit. So that sounds interesting, and I like the little post that he did on IG where it shows. I want to put the link in the
In the
in the
show
show
notes.
notes about this diva pose.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Yes.
inspired a lot of men. I've seen a lot of dad bods being posted on my timeline.
Hmm.
So it looks like he's not going to be the only one shedding those pounds.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to join him. I don't know what program he's using, but it's definitely giving me some insight to doing a better job eating right. Welcome to episode 12 of Breaking It Down with DJ and Courtney.
12. Can you believe it?
Yes, 12, like the 12 disciples or something,
Yeah, right. Or
I'm sure
something.
I'm
12
sure
angry men.
12 angry men. Well, we like to start each episode with a segment called What's Still Cooking. It gives Courtney and me a chance to highlight things that we may have read, watched, or experienced that may be still lingering on our minds. So, what's still cooking for me? Well, I wanted to say happy belated Mother's Day
Yes.
to all the mothers out there, especially my mother, especially thank you. I say belated because we're recording this show a little bit earlier than I know Mother's Day is Sunday, but this will be uploaded on
For
Monday.
Monday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day,
Happy
Mom.
Mother's Day, mommy. So also what's still cooking for me is Will Smith is ready to lose those pandemic pounds.
The
Yeah.
COVID 12.
The COVID 12. I think for me it's like the COVID 20, you
Oh,
know.
really?
Yeah, yeah. So Will is planning to get back in shape by joining a new fitness program. Will said that those midnight muffins will be a thing of the past. So Will is now 52, and he's vowed on his Instagram post that he said I'm getting in shape, the best shape of my life. So Will Smith is teaming up with the YouTube channel or some YouTube team, and plans to do a documentary on how he's going to get fit, or his process of getting fit. So that sounds interesting, and I like the little post that he did on IG where it shows. I want to put the link in the
In the
in the
show
show
notes.
notes about this diva pose.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Yes.
inspired a lot of men. I've seen a lot of dad bods being posted on my timeline.
Hmm.
So it looks like he's not going to be the only one shedding those pounds.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to join him. I don't know what program he's using, but it's definitely giving me some insight to doing a better job eating right. But Childish Gambino and I love that song by him called This Is America.
That was a
But
banger.
oh yeah, especially
And
the
the video
video,
was epic.
off the chain. But he's being sued by a rapper named Kid West.
Hmm.
He claims that the song is copied from a track that he made in 2016 called "Made in America,"
Interesting.
which was released in 2016, and he filed court documents in New York that says that the lyrical theme and the content structure of the two songs are glaringly similar.
Hmm.
Now, I listened to both of the songs
Mm-hmm.
and I don't hear the similarity. We can't play them here, but I'll leave again a link in the show notes of the two songs so you can do your own comparison. But I think the brother's doing some cloud chasing, seriously.
Oh. Well, I'll have to listen with everyone else because I didn't get a chance to listen to both versions. So you'll see if you want to know what I think, look at for us on social media and I'll comment what I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. So what's cooking for me is something I'm actually not excited about. the Brood X cicadas are stated to make their return this year. So if you weren't in this area, and this area meaning the East Coast,
Mm.
17 years ago, you may not remember that the Brood X cicadas are these cicadas that come out once every 17 years, and they have a mating season, and they're loud, and then they go away. But this is the year that they come back, and they're slated to hit 15 states,
Oh.
including the District of Columbia. So Delaware, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia.
Mm.
And I am not excited, but
No,
I
I'm
know
not
that they're
either.
coming.
I know one climbed on my neck because they are the sloppiest flyers. Like they fly, but they like not flying, and they
Yeah.
got on my neck, and I was like, ah!
I
You
can
know,
only imagine.
I mean, people looked like I was crazy. They knew what had happened, but it was just
Yeah, I just remember them the it's like a chorus of screeches all day.
mm-hmm.
And then at night, it may be one or two, but I remember my windshield just looking
Oh
disgusting.
God, they were
I
like,
remember I was in school at the time, so walking across University of Maryland's campus, they would be all over the sidewalks, and it just wasn't exciting.
mm-mm. And then when they went into your windshield, they pop and
Yeah.
bust
Oh,
open. Oh
gross.
God, gross.
Gross. Yeah. So, but they'll be here sometime this month apparently, and maybe into late June. So,
Mm,
look out.
looking forward to that.
All right. Well, should we get into the show?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, great.
So for our first main topic, it was reported this week that Bill Gates, the billionaire Microsoft tycoon, will be divorcing his long-time wife Melinda Gates after 27 years of marriage.
Hmm.
They released a statement saying we no longer believe we can grow together as a couple. So what do you think went wrong?
Well, these hoes ain't loyal. No.
I love it.
No, when I first heard it, I was shocked. I immediately thought of Jeff Bezos and his wife or
hmm
ex-wife.
hmm
Um, but I mean, I also heard rumors that Bill was living the polyamorous life.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, apparently like there was some clause in their marriage agreement that he would
hmm
be able to like vacation with his ex-girlfriend every year, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah. I think her name was Anne somebody. I can't remember the last name, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, but
And
they
Windblad.
okay, Windblack, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know what happened, because I mean, if that had been the clause in the beginning of their marriage, what's going on now?
hmm
Um, I don't know. I Melinda, I believe, is younger than Bill, right?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's it looks like I thought I had their ages here, but I'm not
I
seeing
think
it.
there's like a 10-year age difference between them or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, they have a love story because they sort of met at when she started working for his company
Mhm.
because he wasn't really involved in Microsoft. He was doing other things.
Oh,
And then
okay.
when it started to take off because she was running the company, then that's when he started. So, and then he asked her out. She didn't really I guess took it seriously. And
Right.
then he called her, and then finally she was like, "Okay, well, fine, I'll go out with you."
Right.
So that's very cute to me. I like that. I like that story. You know.
Yeah, I remember hearing them, I want to say recently, talk about that story. Like within the last 2 years, I heard them on some podcast or something talking about how they met
hmm
and started. So, I mean, I was shocked to hear it. And I
hmm
also was like, file under don't get married.
Yeah, yeah. That's another reason when we'll get into
Right.
that in just a second about. But let's talk about the money
Yeah.
because that's the first thing everybody's asking about the money. Because Bill Gates is worth nearly $125 billion.
Damn, that's a
Yeah,
lot of
and
money.
that's a lot of money. And reports are saying this could be the most expensive divorce of all time.
That's why they say
So
it's cheaper to keep her, right?
it's cheaper to keep her, you know. But Bill is currently of one of the top five of the world's richest people. Let me name some of the people that are that you have that bank that shmoney. Jeff Bezos. Jeff
Hmm.
Bezos has 177 billion. He's the owner
Crazy. How
of
much?
Amazon.
That's ridiculous. That's like not even money anymore.
Yeah, it's like you could have go out and buy a couple of countries,
Planets.
a planet, a moon. Elon Musk is 151 billion, estimated his worth. I don't know who Bernard Arnault is, but he has
Hmm.
150 billion dollars.
Wow.
And Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook,
Right.
has almost 100 billion dollars.
Wow.
So people have been asking, they've been asking, like, they have this 66,000 square feet home. Could you imagine a 66,000 square feet home?
That's like my home times 1,000.
Right. That's a company complex or something,
Yeah.
you know. So this home is worth $131 million. They named it Xanadu 2.0, and
Wow.
it's in Medina, Washington. So people are asking, like, what are going to do how are you going to buy the home? You're going to sell the home? Or what are you guys going to do about the home? So people are asking about that. And also with all the money that Bill has, if they do a 50-50 even split, which I doubt will happen, but if that was the case, then she would inherit, about 65 million billion dollars, making her automatically one of the richest women in the world.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So when you say it's cheaper to keep her, it's much better to ditch him.
For her,
for,
yeah.
for him, right? For her to ditch
Did
him.
him, yeah, for
Yeah,
her. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's sad, that there are, because they do have a one of the largest nonprofit companies in the world and do a lot of
Mhm.
good with that company. People are very interested to find out how they're going to maneuver that, and they're saying that they're going to continue with that company, with that nonprofit. But I don't think that would that be weird working with your ex like that
Well,
that closely.
I mean, if Bill was still friends with his ex-girlfriend while he
Mm-hmm.
was married, he seems
Mm-hmm.
like the type that's able to maintain amicable relationships. And they are saying that this is an amicable split.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps they're gonna be able to figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, this along with Jeff Bezos' divorce, it's bringing up the conversation how baby boomers are getting divorced. And like,
Mm-hmm.
what does that really mean about marriage? Like
Mm-hmm.
there was so much talk about the sanctity of marriage when gay rights were trying to get equal access to marriage, and now baby boomers are leaving marriages left and right. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Well, I think that the definition of marriage has really changed, because it's like the question that I ask is the concept of marriage still applicable, or is it an outdated concept?
mm,
What I'm trying to say. I just think that the baby boomers, when they were getting married, it was about falling in love and you supposed to be together forever. But I think in this time, the baby boomers were seeing that I don't have to be with this idiot for the rest of my life.
not this idiot. I think I don't actually know how much love. I think the baby boomers started to experience the concept of love and marriage. That whole,
Hmm.
like, love and marriage,
Yeah,
love
yeah,
and but marriage, like the original concept, was not about love. It was just about business and land ownership and
yeah.
uh providing for women because they didn't have the opportunity to be in the workforce and take care of themselves. So they needed a man to marry
Hmm.
them, to take them
Hmm.
outside of their father's home. Right.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I think the early end of baby boomers, it wasn't always about love. It was about what made sense. Right.
Right.
You know, and
And a
so
shotgun wedding, those
right, right,
shotgun
right, right,
weddings.
right. And so like maybe later baby boomers, it was about the whole oh, this is love, let's create something together. And
Mhm.
I mean, and I think it is something, to think about if it's an outdated concept. I have an
Mhm.
interesting view. Like, I don't want to get married, even though I have evidence that marriage works. My
Mhm.
parents are
Mhm.
still married almost
Mhm.
41 years, have been together
Mhm.
for like maybe 45 years, and
That's
they
awesome.
seem happy. But I know for me, and what the data shows, I don't think it's a wise decision to get married.
I don't want to give half of my shit away.
You know?
I look at, when gay marriage was all being discussed several years ago, and one thing that a lot of the politicians were bringing up, especially the ones that were Republican, were saying that, this the marriage is the sanctity of marriage. It's a sanctity. It's a religious sacrament to get married.
Right.
And I'm like, that's some straight up bullshit. When you got a television show on called The Bachelor, where people are
Right.
getting married through a game show,
Mhm.
and then you
And
talking
then
about
there's several others now, right? Like the Love is Blind, the Married at First Sight, like all of
yeah.
these. I think there's another one coming out soon too. But yeah, I would agree with that. And I mean, it's just such a risk. And like
Hmm.
we have so much data that shows that marriage in a certain way doesn't work
Hmm.
long term. So
Hmm.
it's like, I wonder, in this situation from the outside on paper, it looks like Melinda's going to benefit from this divorce, in some
Oh
way
yeah, I
financially.
see it because her lawyers, she's gotten the same lawyers as Ivana Trump
Ivanka.
and
Oh, okay.
Ivanka. I think it was Ivana. That's why I
Oh,
was looking
okay.
at it
The other
online.
one. Okay.
Ivana. I think Ivanka is the daughter. I think.
Yeah.
Um, and so she's getting lawyered up. She has three lawyers. She has three top lawyers, and also one of the lawyers that she had represented Marla Maples.
I don't know who
Which
that
is
is.
she actually he Donald Trump married Marla after he divorced um Ivana Trump.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was they used the same lawyer.
Wow.
So
Well, yeah, I just, I think about um women who enter marriages and how much are they risking and how much are they sacrificing.
mhm,
Um but in this divorce it looks like Melinda's going to benefit. But
mhm,
especially women, as women become more business owners and things like that, I
mhm.
just, I look to people like Oprah, and her and Stedman have something that seems to work,
She's
and they
smart.
don't have, they don't have a marriage license, but they seem
Hmm.
good, and I'm like, that's
Hmm.
my ideal. I don't we
Right.
don't I can be in a long-term partnership, but the law and the state does not need to be involved.
Exactly. That's key. The law, the state and the government and all that does not need to be involved. You are
Yeah.
exactly right about that.
And I guess I have to say, I have to admit, I have like a different opinion because I don't want to be a mother. I don't want to have
Okay.
children. I don't know what those implications would mean for raising children, and
Hmm.
if there's any benefits tax wise, for being
Hmm.
married.
It is.
Yeah, but like I don't I'm not interested.
Yeah,
I'm still not
it's not
interested.
worth giving up half of my stuff for a tax incentive. No, thank you.
Yeah.
So do you think they have a prenup?
I don't know if they had a prenup. I mean, like, I would hope that they did because
Hmm.
of where
Hmm.
Bill was with Microsoft at the time.
Yeah, well, he can't get right because he actually had that kind of money when they got together. So I'm
Mhm.
assuming that probably they do, but that's the question that people are asking because they haven't made that public or not, if they do have
Right.
one or not. So I did want to ask a question to you about before we close this out, to get our breakdowns. How do you feel about sleeping in separate beds? Yeah.
That's my ideal. Like,
Hmm.
I don't believe in cohabitation.
Yeah, or sharing
You
the
know?
same bathrooms. That's my
Oh,
pet
no,
peeve.
no. I feel like that's the quickest way to get to divorce.
Yeah, like certain things I don't want you to know about me.
Well, it's
You
not
know.
even about that. It's about, like, for me, I'm intense. I'm intense. I do everything fiercely. So if I love
Okay.
someone and we're going to be in a relationship, I'm going to love you fiercely. For that
Hmm.
relationship to survive, we're going to need our space. And I
Yeah.
need my space. I'm a codependent in recovery. I need my space, you
Yeah,
know?
I gotta have my little corner to sort of soak
Right.
in every once in a
Right.
while, you know?
Right. You
I
know, I
get that.
think my big pie in the sky ideal would be for me and my partner to have a multi-family unit, maybe like, 20 units or less. And
Okay.
they have a unit and I have a unit. And like,
Mm-hmm.
we can spend the night at each other's places sometimes, but I want
Yeah.
my space.
Right. And I think that works. I think in this, we have the capacity to do that now, where we can be in two different, we can sort of cohabitate at different times and also keep our distance when we need to as well.
Yeah.
I think that's wise,
Yeah.
you know. So for my breakdown, these are rich people's problems, really. What triggered me about the story was about the amount of money that's being talked about, and of course, when you're dealing with that kind of money, it's very interesting to see rich people have problems, how they're going to sort of sift through it. So I'll be paying attention to this story because I want to see how much money does she get. You know, Bezos' wife Mackenzie got a quarter of his wealth.
Oh wow.
So
That's
yeah,
still a
so
lot.
that's a lot of money. That's I think $65 billion. I think she
Wow.
got. If I'm not mistaken, I think 50 billion. But anyway, it's billions she got. Okay, so yeah, I just think that it's just interesting to me about discussing that kind of money
Yeah.
in terms of dividing it up.
Right. My breakdown is more loosely. It's just got like stream of consciousness. I have a lot of questions and thoughts.
Hmm.
Some are, um, especially with these long-term marriages being dissolved
Hmm.
in this high-profile way, and it seems like Bill didn't want the divorce. I don't know if Jeff Bezos wanted the divorce either, and so just
Hmm.
wondering, like, what is it about these billionaires who want to stay in their marriage, but their wives want to divorce them? What's that about?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and then for people who've been in a marriage for a very long time and then decide to dissolve it, what's that about?
Right.
Just really curious about those types of things. Um, and then, I just really wish Melinda and Bill the best. Just a couple of years ago on Twitter, Bill's professing his love for her.
Mm.
So to see this, it's really shocking. And I know, regardless of if it's amicable or not, that this is a tough time for both of them. So I
Right.
just wish them well.
Yeah.
And that's my
Yeah.
breakdown.
Yeah. I do too. So with all their billions. So this is our segment, Make You Laugh. And so I saw a story about Sean Puff Daddy Combs. That's what I used to call him back in the day when he was, producing for Mary J. Blige. But he has changed his name yet again.
Oh, really? What is it
Yes.
now?
So now, so it's Sean Love Combs.
Again? I thought he did that one already.
Well, he had put it out there and then he said he didn't. And then, but this lately, what he did was on that, he put an IG post out there and it was of his license and it showed Sean Love Combs. So
Oh,
he's
wow.
changed his middle name to Love. So he's went from Puppy to Puff Daddy to P Diddy to Diddy to P. It's just been changing.
Ah!
You know? So I don't know if it's to keep himself current or keep people talking or whatever, probably definitely so. But, I help God bless the brother. I mean, it just seems like it's always every week. I think we discussed him last week, I believe, because
Yeah, or
he
something
was in
like
the
that.
news, about Black Rob.
Mhm.
So this week he's changing his name, and I don't think this will be the last time that Puff Daddy changed his names, or did he change it? I love to
I
change
don't
his
know.
name.
I don't know. We say that God is love and love is constant. God is constant. So
Well, maybe he's intact. Maybe he's in tune with that because he's love now. Sean Love Combs. No,
okay. All right.
right.
I wonder if is he still making music?
Um, it's been a few years since he put out a album, and they didn't. Last album he did with Dirty Money didn't do too
Mm,
well. I mean, I thought it was a hot album, but I think it didn't do as well as they intended it to do.
okay.
And then after that, I haven't heard anything else from him since then.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe he will be inspired by his name change, and we'll get
Yeah.
maybe we can get like a love album or something of all love
Yes.
songs.
Something, bring back, the Benjamins, that song that was when he was at
At his peak,
peak,
yeah.
right?
What was he called then? He was Puff Daddy then, right?
He was Puff Daddy then.
Okay.
Yeah, Puff Daddy and the Family.
Right.
You know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's move into our next topic. And I wanted to discuss a documentary that's on Netflix that my father actually recommended that we discuss, called Coded Bias. And it's a documentary, and the main narrator is an MIT media lab researcher, Joy Bulamwini. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. And she's looking at how much artificial intelligence programs are trained to identify patterns based on data sets that skew light-skinned and male. So she was doing these experiments using facial recognition software and recognized that it wasn't recognizing her face unless she put on a white mask.
Yeah.
And so the documentary really explains and explores how machine learning algorithms, which are now ubiquitous in advertising, hiring, financial services, policing, and other fields, can perpetuate society's existing race, class, and gender-based inequities. And I thought that was really, really interesting because, we're seeing facial recognition software everywhere. And it makes sense that the creators of it will embed their own bias in the software.
Right.
But the thing that's really scary about it is that right now there's no regulations. And so the software is sort of just out there in the world, and certain authorities are using it without these regulations, right? And so, I first started questioning like the algorithms around facial recognition software when on the iPhone. For those who don't have an iPhone, they have this thing now in your photos that you can have albums based on the people's faces.
Right.
So it like recognizes the people's faces.
I love that software though.
And you can match it to like your contacts. But I recognize it was doing such a poor job of recognizing the black faces in my photos. Like my white friends, it would always match them correctly. Like it always knew that this is my white friend, but it would always mix up the black people. Like this is not that person. So I was like, how accurate are these? So I didn't know the documentary was around then, but yeah.
Well, I like my phone does the same thing. But I have an Android. My phone does a pretty good job with that. But there has been times when I will do face recognition and to open up maybe an account and it doesn't recognize my face, especially if I have glasses on. But from my perspective, I think that many black people are already kind of skeptical of the American system, and they would prefer to remain under the radar and would rather go unrecognized.
Yeah.
So I can see how they would say, "Well, good, if you don't recognize me."
Yeah, I mean, like in the documentary, they talk about, I mean, one of the things that gets Joy to Capitol Hill is where were they? Were they in New York? That project? I feel like I don't know. Yeah, they were. I think they were in New York. They were in like Harlem, right, or something like that.
Well, yeah, I think I saw New York at one stage, and then they were in London at one stage, and then
no, but there was a specific point. I think that they were in New York, and they were at this apartment building that wanted to do the facial recognition software as their like lock system, and it was pretty much surveillance. Yeah, I want to say it was projects, or maybe it was just an apartment building. Anyways, there was an apartment building that was predominantly black, and the property managers wanted to install a facial recognition software as the security system, and the residents were not having it.
No,
because it's pretty much surveillance.
Right, and how they were describing it was it could possibly get me evicted.
Right. Because they're using it just like in 1984, the book, as Big Brother to keep people in check and keep people in line. And I remember, we didn't mark this down as a point to talk about, but another part of the documentary talks about how in China, they're doing this. And there's another Black Mirror episode. I think I mentioned Black Mirror in another, when we were talking about Amazon, the Metalhead episode. There's another one. There's an episode called Nosedive, which pretty much explores what's going on in China now, where they're doing the facial recognition software, but also this like social score. Like, you know, we have a credit score, right?
Right.
To determine how good our credit is, to determine how often we're paying our bills, how long we've had a credit history, so that people can trust that when they loan us money, that we're going to pay them back, right?
Your credit worthiness, they say.
Your credit worthiness, right? So in China right now, they're exploring this program, or they're I don't know if they're exploring it as much as they're using it, where you have like a social score. So linked to your face is also this social credit that sort of I don't know, I'm not sure what they're using it against, but like perhaps like if you have any arrest, if you have any bankruptcies,
you protested in the past,
if you've gone against or spoken out against communism or anything like that, that's going to impact your social score. And your face is how it's tied to you. So like you'll go into a place and they'll scan your face and your social score shows up as well to determine how much people should trust you, how worthy you are to be trusted.
Well, one of the things that the documentary did say is that the difference between that technology being over there in China and being here in the United States is that China is very transparent about this.
Absolutely.
Where these tactics are in surveillance, really, in the United States, they really do not make themselves known, or they don't really tell us about this this surveillance that they're doing. Basically, they're not transparent here.
Absolutely. It reminded me exactly of, I remember being in college when the Patriot Act was signed in, you know, during the Bush years, the second Bush years, after 9/11, and how like all of this surveillance was happening or permitted without our consent and without our knowledge.
Right.
So ever since then, you know, I mean, COINTELPRO, we know that surveillance happens in this country, especially with Black people. But so yeah, I'm appreciative of all of the points the documentary brings up. I think they do a really great job of explaining it. And I think that these corporations who are using this technology and aren't acknowledging the bias that's in the technology, they need to have some sort of regulation around it. And everyone needs to be aware of it, because, you know, we're at this point now where it's not our money that's that's valuable. It's our identity. That's what's valuable. My face, my habits. This is what these are what these corporations are using to exploit me. You know, it's ridiculous. I saw it's even as simple as this. On Instagram this week, I saw a post from some nail polish that I just thought was beautiful, and I shared it in my stories. I cannot tell you on how many apps I was advertised this nail polish.
Yeah.
And I succumbed to it. I did. I bought the nail polish. I did.
Yeah.
It works.
It works.
It does. It works. Like they wore me down. It was such a beautiful color though. Like I don't regret it, but I'm saying, you know, we're being pimped out.
Google has pimped us out. Okay. You know, I think Google knows more about us than probably your spouse or your significant other knows more.
It knows even more than you know about yourself, right? Because they're always listening. They're always watching.
So my question is, do you, inside of the documentary, there was a part where they had actually ID'd a 14-year-old African, well, he was actually in London, so he was Black English. And they falsely identified him for somebody else. And they scared the hell out of this little 14-year-old boy, and people ran over to sort of help because they knew that it was not right.
Right.
You know? And that's when my opinion changed about Black people being under the radar. That if you can't recognize my face and you're doing it incorrectly, this technology is not even ready for prime time yet.
Absolutely. You know? Absolutely. And that's the whole point, I think, of the documentary. Like recognizing that, one, if humans are the ones creating this technology, then it's going to be inherently flawed because we as humans are flawed,
Are flawed, right?
And then if white men are generally the ones that are creating the software, they're the ones that are going to benefit from it. And then the
Right.
converse of that is that people of color are going to be harmed by it,
Right.
because the
Because the
biases
unconscious
that
bias.
the unconscious bias is going to be played out in this technology.
Right, because what we're discovering is that when a person is racist, bigoted, or whatever, and they create algorithms or programs, those preferences, concepts, ideologies get also put into those suggestions, get put into those programs coding as well. It's a, I don't know if you want to get woo woo or not, but it's all consciousness. So our consciousness gets fed into whatever we create, and that's one of the interesting things that I think we're going to start really looking into, about how our preferences and our idiosyncrasies and our thoughts are actually having an effect on the things around us that are inanimate.
Absolutely. And it's really scary, I think, when we think about that, like that whole consciousness is what we are, and how we're integrating our consciousness into technology, and how, like, I don't know, I think it's Elon Musk who's like doing all of this technology on, creating this mesh that that interacts with the brain in some type of way to sort of to make like a conscious AI or something like that. Like, those are things that I think we're not ready for yet. We haven't even mastered our own human consciousness in a
Right.
way to then turn it over to these algorithms that are learning on their own. Like, that's just too much. It's too much.
Yeah, it's too much, because like I was saying in an earlier episode, that it's interesting that nature has been giving us the ability to create such advanced technology without having the consciousness evolve along with the technology that we're
Absolutely.
able to
Like when we're talking
create.
about deep fakes. Yes. Yes. We're
Right.
not ready for this.
No,
We aren't.
we're not. But the other thing that I wanted to discuss before we close out, um, um, was, I guess this would be my breakdown. But in terms of creating regulations around this the facial recognition technology and creating federal regulation, this is what Joy was trying to, when she went to Capitol Hill to talk to the House representatives about this, to create federal regulations around this software. The thing that I found disconcerting about that was, do we, the many laws that we've created and how the federal government has jacked up a lot of things in the past, and I felt like by them getting involved in this facial, depending on them to get in, to fix this, or get it to sort of work right, are they going to be an impediment instead of a tool to help us, especially Black Americans, because they haven't, their platform have not helped us hardly at all.
Right.
So that's the thing that I feared,
Hmm.
So in terms of getting federal regulations involved, maybe they have a great idea but when implementing those ideas, sometimes I think it just goes haywire.
I agree with you that there's reason to be skeptical of what can actually be done. Like, how can they actually intervene? But I do think it's important to put it on the record because, like like I said earlier, this software and these algorithms are being used in every aspect of our lives right now, right? So
Hmm.
like, you can't apply for a job, you can't apply for housing in a certain way without
Hmm.
some of it, without interfacing with some of these algorithms. And so if there's not any type of awareness or some type of discretion or something around how they're used, all of the work of the civil rights movement could be erased.
Yeah.
So I think while it's understandable to lack faith that the federal government's going to do anything with it, I think at least as citizens, and we need to be aware,
Hmm.
and we can hold corporations accountable. If the federal government is going to do that, then I believe that we have the power to do that, and that
Hmm.
will be my breakdown as well.
Yeah. 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 We have the power.
Fight the power with your
Fight the
face.
power. Yeah. That's perfect.
Okay. All right. For this week's Inspire segment, I wanted us to linger a little bit longer in the Mother's Day spirit and also go back to talking about the Red Table Talk. We talked about them last week. If you didn't listen to that episode, please go back and listen to episode 11 of Breaking It Down with DJ and Courtney. But anyways, I told DJ I wasn't going to share this story unless I was actually moved. But Willow Smith, Jada and Will's daughter, surprised Jada last week with a reunion of her band, Wicked Wisdom, and she performed one of Jada's favorite songs. So Jada Pinkett formed a band called Wicked Wisdom. It was a new metal band in 2002.
Yeah, I remember that.
They had a really great song called Bleed All Over Me. And Willow, she is a really great musician. I'm actually a fan. Back in the day, she had her single "Whip My Hair Back and Forth." I whip my hair back and forth, whip my hair back and forth, right? And then last weekend, after we, did the episode, I was looking and I saw that she has a new metal song called "Transparency," and it is fire. Like,
oh wow,
she's just a really great musician, and I have to say. I actually prefer her version of Bleed All Over Me to Jada's. Not to say that Jada's is bad. Jada's is good. I liked Wicked Wisdom, but I was really, really impressed. And I thought it was just so beautiful to see, a daughter who's obviously inspired by her mother.
Yeah,
and I think Willow is a really great example of a mother's love, because I think Jada has been very transparent about the way that she's parented Willow, which requires a lot of authentic love, of like getting out of the way and loving someone to be their whole self and courageous. And then for Jada to return the favor by like singing something that her mother created as an offering of love. I thought that was just beautiful. So we'll link the video in the show notes if you haven't seen it, so that you can see it, because I think it's beautiful. And just to all of the mothers out there, I remember years ago, I got this plaque for my mother when Maya Angelou was doing her, Dr. Maya Angelou was doing her Hallmark gifts. And it was just this beautiful plaque that says, "A mother's love liberates." And so I know that the love from my mother liberates me. And I just wanted to continue to celebrate all of the mothers out there.
Yeah. Love you, Mom.
Yeah. And then for those people who, have difficult relations with their mothers, or their mothers have transitioned, we hope that this time is a time that you can reflect just on the fact that us being here is because of our mothers, despite where they are in our lives now, or where they are. Know that somehow, somewhere, that our mothers love us the best way that they know how, and that if they are not in this plane, that their love lives within us.
Yes, or even your surrogate mother, because I believe God always brings someone in our life to mother us, even if it's not the individual that birthed us.
Correct.
So send that love to that individual who has been that surrogate mother for you too.
Absolutely. Well, DJ, that makes another episode.
Yes, another in the hopper. Ow.
Well, I think people, I don't know about you, but I've been getting text messages that people are listening and they're enjoying the conversation. So even if they aren't interacting on social, we know that you're out there, and we thank you so much for listening.
Yes.
And if you like the episode, if you don't want to comment on social media, we'd really appreciate if you just share our teasers. Send it to someone that you think might be interested in the topics we discuss. And if you have topics like my father did, you can let us know.
Yeah, I've been getting text messages too from friends saying that they think this show is entertaining and they really enjoy the topics that we cover. But like you said, like Courtney just said, if you have a topic that you're interested in, you can always email us at breakingitdownshow@gmail.com. That's breakingitdownshow@gmail.com with any ideas.
Yeah. Oh, and we are on Instagram at Breaking It Down Show, and we are on Facebook at Breaking It Down Podcast.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We will
Thank you.
see you next
week.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.
Breaking It Down with DJ and Courtney is edited and produced by Designs by Courtney H. Music produced by Courtney Hinton. Thank you for listening.
Please subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review.